Many times the Turkish government has threatened to open its borders and release refugees into Europe in large numbers once again. This was the scene on the shores of the Greek island of Lesbos, already a nightmarish place for the tens of thousands of men, women and children who crossed over from Turkey and are now trapped here. In itself, a dinghy arriving isn't any different from what happens on any other day, but the implication was that the Turkish authorities didn't try to stop it. The Greek government is asking for increased European support.
Europe needs to help, not just with money, but personnel and equipment. It needs to help protect maritime borders that are Greek and European. I have asked Frontex to reinforce the Coast Guard with personnel, boats and technical means.
Greece already operates about 40 coastal patrol vessels and boats along its 1,000-kilometre-long maritime border with Turkey, and it's adding 19 new boats over the next couple of years. But it's going to need help now if Turkey makes good on its threat to send refugees into Europe en masse. The route was being cleared for refugees much further north on the land border with Turkey. There were reports of people being bussed from Istanbul to the border town of Edirne, a haven for people traffickers, and unlike in recent months, the Turkish military did absolutely nothing to stop people then making their way on foot towards the wide Evros River, the border with Greece.
We're coming from Istanbul. Our aim is to get to Germany. There are Syrians with us, Algerians, Palestinians. There are people from every country.
We've arrived here at the Turkish-Greece border. Greek police are on the other side and they're not letting migrants in. We've got lots of problems here. We want Turkey and Europe to open the borders because of these problems.
The immediate response from the Greek side was to tear gas the several hundred people who had gathered right on the border, with the Prime Minister warning loudly that Greece was closed to this new wave. Athens also sent more special forces to the land border to try to prevent people coming across. The general supposition is that Turkey is threatening to manipulate the refugee flows as a direct threat to the European Union to re-engage in the situation in Syria and the humanitarian crisis that has engulfed people in Idlib. If the EU turns a blind eye, Greece could end up as a buffer zone for asylum seekers. Psaropoulos, Al Jazeera, Lesbos.